One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness.
Somebody cut my neck and drink my blood. It was
more sound, louder. Planet. How are they going to follow my point almost to clinical dying situations in the very...
This video game will present players with opportunity.
They killed them, they dismembered them, they cut up their intestines, and they took the feces out, and they ate it. There's a 16-year-old girl. She had some diary entries written in code about her experiences being and impregnated by Epstein. They forced her to carry that baby to term, and they let her keep the baby for a few minutes. Then they came in, took the baby away, ripped it away from this, and they did who knows what.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to kill anybody. Hurt anybody.
Mel Gibson, Katt Williams, and Terrence Howard just came out of the woodworks to expose some never-heard-before details about Hollywood. And this will genuinely have you shocked. I mean, these three have been going after people for decades, and now everything that they have said individually is finally clicking together. Apparently, they've not only been consuming under 18-year-olds, but they've also been cooking people's spirits in a demonic sacrifice orchestrated by the popular witch Marina Abramovich. And get this, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Brashear Gray, and even Orlando Brown are among the many victims of this wicked work. Katt Williams opened the floodgates for all this back in 2024 when he appeared on Club Shay Shay, and baby, it's been up ever since. And the industry has also been working overtime to convince us that Terrence and Mel were the bad guys, when they are really just part of the few celebrities to not sold their souls to the industry. Now, I'm in no way saying that Mel and Terrence are saints, because that'll be a blatant lie. Terrence has a long history of DV, and Mel also made some nasty comments that made a lot of people get turned off. But you know how the saying goes, a broken clock is still right twice a day. And that is very much the case for Terrence and Mel. If y'all remember, Terrence made some comments back in the day about the industry trying to emasculate black men by making them wear dresses, and these men agreeing to it because it helped advance their careers. He said, and I quote, "Everything is androgynous, you know? The more successful men now are the effeminate. The man has been demonized. With the new formula, most men are made to be effeminate and not have their power or sense of strength. They allow white men to be able to be strong. But when it's black men, it's seen as a threat." Now, at the time, Terrence's comments had a lot of mixed reactions, with some people being on his side and others feeling like there were some homophobic undertones to his comments. But the thing is, he wasn't the first to say something like this. In fact, there was a time when the masculinity of most black men was heavily attacked by the industry. And while some fans dismissed this as just another conspiracy theory, many others pointed out that there were a lot of black actors and comedians in Hollywood who made it big by cross-dressing. Just look at movies like Big Mama's House, White Chicks, The Nutty Professor, and Norbit. This became a major topic when Dave Chappelle did that infamous interview with Oprah, accusing Comedy Central of trying to end his life after he turned down a shady $50 million deal from them.
I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. And I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. The director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. Oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses?
Katt Williams later appeared on Club Shay Shay and revealed that Martin Lawrence was trying to pressure him into wearing a dress for Big Mama 2, even after he said he wasn't doing it. What's even wilder is that this wasn't the first time they tried getting Katt to emasculate himself. They pulled a similar move back in 2002 when he did the movie Friday After Next, except this time, they wanted him to do something even more messy. Y'all, apparently, these dresses that they've been making for black men aren't just to emasculate them. It's actually a form of Illuminati ritual. If you noticed, most of the actors who did it went on to have successful careers after, but they also had some tragic things happen to them. I mean, just take a look at Martin Lawrence. He was seen running in the streets and screaming, "They're trying to kill me!" And get this, the recent Epstein files that were leaked mention the same things Katt was talking about. One email even shows Epstein discussing with biologist Robert Trivers ideas about producing more feminine men and more masculine women. So this scientist, Robert Trivers, was responding to Epstein's email, where Epstein asked to see his piece on transgender biology, and Trivers responded, saying it is possible to manipulate and control things on a molecular level to make women have male parts and vice versa. But it then gets really creepy, and Trivers literally admits that these procedures are being pushed earlier and earlier. This is a direct quote from the email. "By the way, we are now pushing the intervention earlier, so you notice your son has trans tendencies, so now you intervene with hormones. I would be frightened to do that, but who knows?" And remember what Katt said in that Joe Rogan interview about certain rituals connected to all this, and even hinted that these elites worship a completely different kind of god? Well, the Epstein emails appear to back that up.
Did you know Jeffrey Epstein, his bank accounts,
What is
he
a
named
bank?
it Baal, like the demon.
Oh, Baal.
Like the demonic
like
god.
Baal, that's yeah.
That god, ancient Babylonians, they used to sacrifice kids and eat kids to this god fam. And they're still referencing that.
My goodness.
And they've been referencing that.
Yeah, everywhere.
Guy here, God is good. Huh? God is good.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
And then there is Kevin Hart. According to Katt, every movie role he turned down because he wouldn't bend to Hollywood's demands was handed straight to Kevin Hart. Kevin was more than willing to do whatever the industry asked without question, making him the perfect replacement for comedians who refuse to play ball. Katt even said that Kevin's career wasn't built through hustle and grind like he claims, but was instead
Ever heard of that before that person or since that person? What do you think a plant is?
Katt literally called out Kevin for wearing a dress on Saturday Night Live in 2013, despite previously claiming he would never do such a thing.
Oscar nominee, Kavenshane Wallace.
Wow. Wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
Katt didn't stop there. He took it even further, saying the people who really run the entertainment industry are far more ruthless than anyone realizes. According to him, it took being stung 1,000,000 times before he fully understood what he was up against. And he made it clear, there's a cost.
Okay.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. But now, it's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little more.
In his view, once you start speaking publicly about what he calls the darker side of Hollywood, you're no longer just talking. You're challenging power. And when you challenge power in that system, he suggests, you pay for it. Like there were so many random arrests and attempts to lock Katt up or even get him institutionalized. So eventually, fans started thinking, maybe Katt wasn't exaggerating at all. Now, when it comes to Mel Gibson, he didn't have to go through that same emasculation mess that Terrence and Katt went through. But he went through his own share of things that directly tie to the recent Epstein files. It turns out that Mel knew about the CT and munching activities that these executives were doing, and even tried to warn us in his movie Sound of Freedom, but people didn't catch on until recently.
I was in my mid-20s the first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand. Right. And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town. Surely that couldn't be because, and then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think, it does rip your life to pieces.
Does it?
If you'll let it.
Yeah.
These little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head with a battering ram trying to like walls in.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take very long. It's cascading on you all the time. You can't get away from certain attitudes, from certain modes of behavior that this town and the industry dictate. No matter how strong you are, you are going to be affected by this place. And I think it takes that kind of cockroach resilience. You can't get mad. You can't get mad. You can't let it get you because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken, that you are going to be f***ed over at some point.
I mean, as a matter of interest, do you think it's easier because you're an outsider who came in?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it was glaring to me because I was an outsider who came in.
But unfortunately for Mel, the elites he exposed are reportedly not very happy about the things he said. You see, when people think of these CT victims, they usually imagine these unknown, helpless women who are now living a quiet life. But you'd be surprised to find out that some of them are actually people that you might know, even down to the people who were sacrificed during those activities. Like Allie Carter, who has gone into details and even filing lawsuits trying to get justice. She has been hiding and them moving to stay safe. Bryshire Gray and Orlando Brown have been brought up a lot, and honestly, it makes sense when you find out what was done to them.
When you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So,
word on the street is that Terrence was talking about Brashear Gray in this interview. You see, when Brashear was just 17, he was handed over by his mama and former manager to Diddy and Will for a supposed mentorship. But baby, word on the street is they did everything else to him but that mentorship. You see, after the mentorship ended, Brashear was a totally different person.
I rob in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on. I pulled him to the side. I said, listen, I'm here to help you and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. Okay. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me suck his face. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm like, yo, listen. Somebody stole 2 hard drives from Jada's house. So now we get into why she's even more mad. Jada would watch at the houses. She had her laptop. She would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm gonna let people know who you've been hitting with them deals. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm going to sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do, period. And I got to have evidence. So she's sitting down here watching, playing with herself, high as a kite, right? Not caring who's in the house, whether kids watching, nothing. She's in her own world. So that's how I was able to see the tapes. I saw them, and I saw some things that were unreal, and I saw celebrities on the tape.
Ooh.
I'm under penalty of perjury. If anything in here is a lie, my ass going to jail, period. There's no if, there's no ends, there's no buts. You know what you and Diddy was doing together in y'all younger years. All that's coming out.
Who else did you see allegedly on the tapes?
Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will. Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up, period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling. So it's time for everybody that got a credible story, I should say, to start the process.
And then there is Orlando Brown, who, just like Brashear, also had his start in the industry at a young age, only to end up broke and mentally deranged. Orlando was a lead actor in Disney's hit TV show, That's So Raven. But right after the show ended, his career also pretty much ended. And he also has talked about certain crazy things like panda eyes.
Like I was telling you, panda, so you got, panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so when it comes down to that certain thing, so what it is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum, and if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal, you can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much when you see black eyes like Blueface and like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else. Okay, and so the eyes come out, and they call them panda eyes, and they do this to. So you see people with these cigars, and they're all these big celebrities. They all have the cigar in common. That's that thing between their legs.
But it didn't start with them. Even before Brashear and Orlando stepped into the picture, other celebrities had also suffered similar fates. Two of the most talked about celebrities in this conspiracy are Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. The industry has always been out to get Michael, but it got worse when he began getting way more powerful than they expected. Now, for those of y'all who aren't familiar with the story, it all dates back to 1984, when Michael bought the Beatles' catalog, granting him unprecedented industry control. The industry obviously didn't like this, so they started a nasty smear campaign against him, calling him a PDF file, to devalue the music of his assets and get people to turn on him. And get this, after Michael died, multiple pages of his diary leaked, in which he explicitly said some people in the industry were trying to unalive him. Even his family members, like his sister LaToya, publicly alleged that he was taken out. You see, when he passed, it was concluded that he died from a propofol OD at his LA home, and it was ruled a homicide against Dr. Conrad Murray. But up until this day, people believe Dr. Conrad wasn't working alone. And then there's also Whitney Houston. Now, when Whitney passed, there was a whole lot of talk about something being off, and it all makes sense once you hear what actually went down. When Whitney's autopsy report came out, the questions about her death only got more intense. You see, even though it was first said that she died by accidentally drowning in her hotel bathroom, her autopsy showed something totally different that backed up the foul play claims. She had visible injuries that clearly suggested she fought back against someone who attacked her. According to the coroner's report, Whitney's assistant, Mary Jones, found her face down in a water-filled bath with 2 superficial abrasions to the left side of her forehead. She was also found with a purge coming from her nose, and with a superficial abrasion to the left side of the bridge of her nose. Mind you, Ed was also the one who investigated Michael Jackson's death. He is notorious for sniffing out the BS behind the death of celebrities, even when the industry is pushing a different narrative. And guess what? He was suddenly found dead about a year ago. It's still unclear who exactly killed Whitney, but it's been rumored for a minute that Ray J knows the truth. Jaguar Wright added fuel to these claims when she accused Ray J of providing Whitney with the stuff she passed on that day. According to Jaguar, Ray J was the last person to see Whitney alive, and even brought a drug dealer into Whitney's hotel room to give her all kinds of substances.
Autopsy, they said there was nothing wrong with her throat. Her lungs were so damaged that she couldn't fuel the notes. It was her lungs. It wasn't. Her voice was fine.
Oh.
That's how did it. And then the next thing you know, she's Ray J. And then it's Grammy time.
That happened.
And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
Oh, wow.
And Brandy was the one that found her. But you know, they pledge allegiance to Clive too.
Jeez.
Well, you know, Ray J was kind of down on his luck because the whole bullshit had happened, and then, you know, Whitney was dead and he was using her, as he's said himself, for clout, and then all of a sudden he got Love and Hip Hop LA after Whitney died. And then they inappropriately put her stupid ass goddaughter on there. Yeah. I just thought it was all kind of cheesy.
And get this, while Whitney was lying up in the hotel, the celebs continued to party late into the night, even when they knew what had went down. And for those of y'all wondering how exactly these sacrifices are made, well, word on the street is that the popular Hollywood priestess Marina Abramovic has a lot to do with it. People claim she performs intense rituals that include harvesting adrenochrome to grant celebrities fame, power, and immortality. These claims exploded in November 2016 after WikiLeaks exposed her spirit cooking email to Tony Podesta, in which she seemingly confessed to hosting secret dinners where Hollywood stars drink mixtures of red fluid, men's body fluid, and milk.
Finally, a real-life witch comes out talking about the situation with Jay-Z and Marina Abramovic.
When she says mix fresh breast milk with
breast milk,
fresh sperm.
Oh, she is doing woodwork then. So that's a form of woodwork.
So is this a good witch or a bad witch?
I can't tell you what she's doing. I don't know what she's doing it for. So I
You
can't
see why I be scared?
Jay-Z hang out with spirit cooking Marina Abramovic that does these blood things.
She's a witch.
She's a witch. Yes, she is. Yes, she
And
is.
he sat there and gave frontal lobe to frontal lobe, which is third eye to third eye, which says, I welcome you into my spirit. I welcome whatever is inhabiting you, I welcome it into me.
It's a
Jay-Z has been relying on witchcraft for a long time.
The industry has done a very good job at deceiving people into thinking these satanic practices are normal when they're really not. But Baby, Terrence, Katt, and Mel are determined to make people see the demonic activities for what they are, and they'll not stop till everything is exposed. But in the meantime, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about all these demonic sacrifices that have been going on all these years? And do you really think that this entire Epstein scandal is really going to be what will end the industry? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.